I'm your host, Magick La Croix of the Magical Elite Supply Shop. Today, I got a special guest with me. You may know him from the Royal Bloodline, better known as the Dark Lord. Dark Lord, are you with me?
The Dark Lord is in the building.
Why don't you tell the people about yourself, man, those that may be watching?
All right, for the people who don't know me, I'm a occultist. You know, I've been into the occult art since I was, in my teenage years. And, I'm a martial artist.
Right.
And, I'm initiated into a few sciences. My specialty is the dark arts. And I'm from New York City. The place where the spiritual hub where a lot of this occult information comes out of. And I got a group called the Royal Bloodline, in which we practice a lot of magic on a regular day basis.
All right. Okay. That sounds like a pretty good resume, brother. And I brought you on here today, not to just, but we want to have a little tete-a-tete about occult etiquette.
About occult etiquette.
Yeah. So, in your words, what do you think occult etiquette is?
What do I think is occult etiquette, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
yeah, occultism, occult etiquette goes with occultism, you know what I'm saying? It's a certain decorum that occultists have. And, occult meaning hidden, occultists, real occultists have a thing where they're like really laid back. They're very modest. They're like that modest martial artist that knows a lot but doesn't have to tell the whole world. You know what I'm saying? They're not arrogant. They're not practicing magic on everybody. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people who were really, really, really deep into the occult and really understood the science, they carried themselves a certain way. And, you know what I'm saying? We wanted to have this build because we got a lot of aspiring occultists or modern aspiring occultists that are, they left the etiquette part out of it. And this is a really, really important part. So I'm going to say it's that laid back thing.
Okay. That's a pretty good description, brother. So basically, it is, and you might agree with this, is do's and don'ts of the occult, right?
That's right.
Okay.
There's do's and don'ts.
Okay. Okay. First thing I want to touch on is if you were in your first year of practicing, would you start doing work for clients, doing work for other people?
No. No.
Any particular reason why?
There's a lot of reasons why. One, you got clients, right? These clients,
right?
A lot of them don't know what this is. So one, you can't really afford to make any mistakes because now you're going to leave a bad taste in their mouth. And then now they don't want to deal with magic anymore. All right. Two, this is real life. Doing work you can mess someone's life up. You know what I'm saying? Even people that want to do readings and they're not good at it yet, it's like you're giving people life. They're making life decisions based on your readings. So you can't play with this. You know what I'm saying? And then magic, how it backfires. It could backfire on you. It could backfire on the client. It could generationally backfire. There's a lot of mazes in magic. And, you know what I'm saying? You got to be trained. You got to be good at what you do. And a lot of our ancestors were sanctioned, you know what I'm saying? They had the proper training, and then they were sanctioned to do the work. And that's some of the reasons why I wouldn't do it in my first year, especially not my first year. I mean, it's just so much that you're going to learn after that first year. You're not going to see it. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to see it.
I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. One point that you brought up was that, you know, doing a reading for somebody and you're not good at it. I knew somebody who was maybe 6 months into it and started reading for other people. So I decided to, like, okay, why don't you read for me a couple times? Every single time she was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, look, it took me years before I learned the tarot, before I could learn to do readings for someone else, because just like you said, they're basing life decisions based on what you tell them, you know. So that's a very good point that you brought up there, that, you know, you got to be trained. So we agree on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of people I know that read for me that was off. I ain't gonna say no names.
Nah, don't say no name. Don't do them dirty like that.
No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. So, and like you said, you know, the backfiring of the magic also, if you don't know how to handle something boomeranging on you, it's going to totally fuck you up. And then you'll be like, okay, I got to go back to the person who was training me, or I got to go back to the drawing board. You just don't want to do things like that. And then people looking at you sideways like, what the fuck are you doing? You see what I'm saying? So,
yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How important do you think trying again, like experiment?
Oh, that's everything. You know, for example, like my ritual success rate is really, really, really high. You know what I'm saying? And that's because there was a point where I did rituals every single day for like a year. You know what I'm saying? So it's the practice that had me good. It's not necessarily the particular science I use. It was the trial and error. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It was used to experimenting, playing with different formulas, and not expecting to get it overnight. All right. So with that comes experience. Then you get this sixth sense for knowing if your ritual is going to work, when it's going to work. You know what I'm saying? How hard you got to go. But you're not going to get that out of a book. You're going to get that with doing it over and over and over and over again on yourself. So that's everything. That's everything in magic.
Right. Brilliantly said, because as soon as you said that, an example came to my mind where this woman who wanted me to train her, I didn't feel that she was ready to do ritual yet, but she was insistent. I'm like, all right. So I gave her a ritual to do to get this dude back, and she did it one night. She called him the next day, and I was like, you didn't give that like no time to work. Then she got depressed. Then she logged off Facebook. She got pissed off. She didn't want to do magic no more. See what I'm saying? No patience whatsoever.
Yo, man, it's these magical movies and cartoons. You know what I'm saying?
And
because
Charmed.
Yeah, Charmed and all of that stuff. You know, like magic is, you know, it's science. You know, it's a science. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of what people want, they don't understand the fundamentals on how things manifest on this planet. You know what I'm saying? It's a science to it, and it don't just happen like because you snap your fingers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, they don't understand. Like they'll get the instructions for a ritual, and then they'll do the ritual, but they don't understand how it works. You know what I'm saying? They don't look into how it works. They just do it. They just be like, okay, so I stare into this, look at this, say this 10 times, and then boom, this is supposed to manifest. And it's like they didn't take time and study the fundamentals and how it actually manifests. You know what I'm saying? And that's a major part of why they get frustrated when it doesn't work. Yeah.
Agreed. So, you said they don't have patience. They don't understand the fundamentals, the basics, basically.
Yes. Right.
And so, and they also, I find that people are telling them this bullshit about 3 to 21 days. Do you agree with that?
No, okay, so the thing is, like, 21 days, it's like you can't dictate when the universe is going to add up the variables to when something's going to manifest. Right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a lot of people gauge within 21 days as a good estimate, but I wouldn't say 3 to 21 days. I think a lot of that is it's sales. You know, it sounds good. So it's like, okay, I can get this for you, and then within 21 days it's going to manifest. And a lot of people are getting over in that, and they're not understanding. They're being told that because they're being sold on your ritual is going to work fast. All right. So no, I don't agree with the 21 days mess. No.
Okay.
No.
And a lot of scammers, a lot of internet gurus or internet magicians, occultists, or whatever, are actually out here, and they're giving these people this false hope. You know, that within 3 to 21 days, it's gonna manifest. And I'm like, no. I say I have clients now that's still asking me for time frames. I'm like, fuck you in a time frame. I can't tell you. You know what I mean? I said, no occultist worth their weight in gold can tell you a time frame. That's bullshit. Especially if you got extenuating circumstances that they didn't tell you about. And I'm finding that out a lot also. So, yeah, totally agree with that.
And you know, that goes back to occult etiquette. You know what I'm saying? Real occultists don't do that. You know what I'm saying? They're confident in their sorcery, and if they feel that they're not going to be able to manifest something, they're going to tell you that. You know what I'm saying? They have a certain decorum to where they practice really good business. They're cultists.
Right. Yeah. So, you know, I make it a point to tell my clients, I can't give you a time frame. No matter how many ways that you think you're slickly asking for a time frame. And I had a client do this recently. I'm like, look, no matter how many routes you come to me asking for a time frame, I'm not going to give you one. It's not going to happen. So, which brings me to my next point. Anxiousness. I tell my clients all the time, nobody seems to want to listen. Anxiousness, worrying about it all the time, damages the working. Do you agree with this one?
It's an actual fact, because, you know what I'm saying? Again, back to basic fundamentals of manifestation. When you send a thought out into the universe moves on its axis to help to make it manifest. It starts figuring out the variables and putting it in place for it to happen. Now, when you keep thinking about the thought, it don't leave and go out into the universe. The universe stops and is like, okay, this is what you want to happen. Then when you doubt and be like, okay, I don't know if it's going to happen, then the universe stops again and it resets the process all over again. And then everything is stalled until you forget about what you just sent out. So I tell people to send it out, forget about it. You did the work already, you know, but yeah. So I agree with that.
Absolutely. I like the way you explained that, because the ancients, when they were one of the mantras of the ancients is to know, to dare, to will, to be silent, to forget about it. All of the ancient grimoires say, forget about it. You do the work like you said, and then go do something else. Go smoke a cigarette. Go eat a cheeseburger. Go fuck. Do something that's gonna take your mind off of it. I hate to be so crass, but you know me. You've been knowing me for some years. That's how I talk.
Yeah, like, send it out. And you know what I'm saying? Where your confidence at, right? Send it out. You're a magician. You're a sorcerer. You're a occultist. So send out the ritual and know that you did it right and it's going to manifest, and then move on to the next thing. So I agree with that. You know what I'm saying? And then, yeah, a technique, like you said, do something different, and sit back and let your thing manifest. But a lot of people, when they do it, especially like very new sorcerers, they constantly think about it. Like, yo, I did that ritual. Nothing's happening yet. And it's like, chill.
Right.
We don't pay attention to how, the universe may work in mysterious ways. So, like, we'll send something out. We'll be like, okay, it's not happening. And then when it happens, it's better than what we even fathomed. You know what I'm saying? So that's another reason we want to just chill, because we don't know how it's going to manifest and if it could be better than how we even can fathom it manifested.
Absolutely. And that in the early stages of my development and my magical path, that was a hard thing. And I tell people all the time, I know it's hard, but you got to do it. And like you said, you gave a great example. Then it manifests even better once you have put it completely out your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a client tell me, oh, it's so hard to do. I'm like, look, you're going to swear that I didn't do my part. But no, you're not doing your part by not thinking about this constantly.
Right.
Yeah. So, and also for aspiring occultists, aspiring practitioners, do you agree with reading and researching?
Of course. Especially if you're going to call yourself an occultist, you're a scholar. And the worst thing any one of us could do, it don't matter what level we are on, is to stay stagnant and not try to learn more. So yeah, reading is very important. Research is even more important, because it's like you'll start discovering new things, but you won't discover these new things until you start researching. So a lot of us occultists will have a whole theory, you know what I'm saying? We'll have a whole doctrine that we abide by. And then when we start doing research, our whole science changes up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm all the way with that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say occultists, even back then, were known to be highly revered because they did more research than traditional priests. All right, they were more scholarly. So you gotta have that research thing down pat.
Absolutely. And for me, I got almost 900 PDFs. I got over 100 physical books. And my 20th year in the occult, I still read, I still research. If I'm not working for a client, I'm actually reading and researching. And like I said in my one of my videos, is that an occultist is a scientist, just like the way you put it. So.
What's funny about that statement?
What's that?
Now I'm gonna show the beauty in that is when you get two occultists that research and read all the time, when they start combining information, it's groundbreaking. You know what I'm saying? When they start
Mm-hmm.
sharing information, you know what I'm saying? Like me, like how we do, you know, we build and we go, okay, yo, you got the formula for this?
Right.
Or yo, you ever thought about the formula for this? And then we on the same page. But if
Abs-
either of us were not researching, we wouldn't be able to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I totally, every time that you and I talk, we always like, oh, okay, you got the formula for this? Oh yeah, but you got the formula for that. Yeah. So yeah. that's what's up.
Yeah.
Okay. And so practicing. This goes into occult etiquette also. Yes?
Of course. That's right.
Okay. You said you did. Now I applaud you for that, brother. I applaud you for a ritual every day for a year. I don't know if I could do that because of the energy drain. So how did you get through that first year?
I mean, I was, you know what I'm saying? I was 19 and I had time on my hands, and then, you know what I'm saying? My mate back then, she was on it. So we was on the same page. So we kind of like, you know, we held each other accountable. You know what I'm saying? So,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? It wasn't easy, but, you know what I'm saying? I got addicted to rituals, you know, especially when you see them working. And I like to, you know, I'm an extremist to an extent, so I like to challenge myself. So I'm like, let me see if I could do
Yeah.
something every day for a year.
Yeah. 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 When you told me that you did the chants
Yeah.
for like 3 hours, I'm like, okay. 20 years into it, and I still gotta break my mantras up. I'll admit to that. If they long, I gotta do it like 1,000 at a time. Do something else, then another. I gotta do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, kudos to you, brother, for being. Eventually, I'll get there, but my thing is when I'm sitting there, because I usually do mantras. If they long, I do them in my ritual space. I start to cramp up. My fingers start to go to sleep because I'm holding my 1,000 count beads. You see what I'm saying? So it becomes uncomfortable for me. It's not that I'm being lazy or anything, but when you're doing mantras, so we'll just roll right into that subject. When you're doing mantras, I believe that your comfort level should be of the utmost importance so that you can get through them. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah.
And how long have you been doing mantras?
Since I was like 12, something like that. You know, I was in a society where, you know what I'm saying, we did a whole lot of mantras. A lot. You know, the society was pretty much, the gist of it was hitting a lot of numbers in mantras. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, getting that type of training or that demand from an early age, it kind of got me to being accustomed to doing a lot of mantras, you know.
Wow,
Um,
that's impressive.
yeah,
That's
you
impressive.
know, I'm not gonna lie, you know, I was in the right place at the right time, you know. I thank the universe for that. That's why I share a lot of information. But
Mm-hmm.
like the thing with mantras is it's like exercise. It's the same thing. Like, you know, yeah, how fast you can chant in your head is an exercise. You know what I'm saying? The more you do it, the faster you get at. Even when you starting to click the mantra beads, like your fingers are going to get faster. You know what I'm saying? And then for anybody who knows how to play the guitar, you know, that's not comfortable, but the more you do it, your fingers develop these calluses to where you don't feel it anymore. And that's the same thing when you're clicking the mantra beats, your fingers start to wear down and you get used to flicking the beads to where you don't feel it. So the more you do it, the better you'll get at it, the more comfortable you'll be, the more you won't even have to think about it. You know what I'm saying? The more you'll start learning how to flick the beads with your eyes closed. You know what I'm saying? So it's practice. Like you said, it's practice.
It is. Like I said, that's impressive. I ain't have that formal training, but I have gotten to a point with mantras where I can multitask. I can walk around the house and do things, and I'm chanting with my mala beads, which I'm wearing around my neck right now. So yeah, it's practice. Just like you said, oh, I can go to Walmart, or I can drive to Walmart, and I'm chanting, and the music's playing, and I'm still chanting. You know, so I've gotten to that point. But like I said, for chant for hours, stuff usually just start to get me uncomfortable, and I can't do anything if I'm uncomfortable. But how important do you think mantras are in magical practice?
Mantras, mantras are alchemical. You know, man, mantras are. I'll say it like this: that's my number one science. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that knows me and like how I lay down my magic, I'm all about the mantras, really. So I think mantras are everything. Um, I believe that a lot of people don't really see the importance of mantras because they don't fully understand the dynamic or how mantras work. So, for example, like if you're not chanting the mantra in the exact tone and pitch that it's supposed to be chanting in, it's not gonna work like that. You know, like if you don't hit enough numbers, you're not really gonna know the full benefit that you're gonna get. You know, of mantras. So mantras is everything. You know, it's like we can go to orishas and jinn and deities or whatever and petition them and give them offerings to do what we want them to do. But when you do mantras, you are the deity. Ain't nothing better than that. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't got to give nobody an offering. and you ain't got to worry about a deity getting tired of you asking for something. You know what I'm saying? You're the God at that point. So, like, what's better than that?
Hey,
You know?
I totally am with you, and the people who know me and in my group, I stress mantras all the time. I even did, and I gave that to you, I think, the Malabi empowerment right to empower the mantra beads.
Yeah.
They go with me wherever I go. So just like you said, it's you, it's all you, and you're encompassing the deity. So the number 108, how do you feel about that number as far as mantras?
I don't like it, man. I don't like
I
it.
didn't think you did. For anybody that's watching, what's the number that you like to do?
I like 100. Whoa. I like 1,000. Okay. If I'm going to do light mantras, and this is very rare, like I don't even see the point more than half the time. I'll probably stick to 100. But like if I want to do mantras with a wave of something being effective, I'm not going to do less than 1,000. I like 1,000. I like 10,000, 16,000, 22,000. You know, those numbers I've seen results in. 108, I feel, and I've been saying this for a minute, is a farce. They say it's the number of completion, but think about it. How quick is it to do something 108 times? How much effort does that take? How much energy are we really conjuring up? Like, if we're doing something 108 times every single day for 21 days, I can promise you that person that's doing that 1,000 is going to manifest way more. You know, I think 108 is perpetuated by people who know true science to keep us away from true science. You know what I'm saying? And there are monks that are sworn to do this to us, to lie to us and keep us with watered down information. So that's my spill on that.
I agree. I totally agree. The thing about 108 is that you got to do it for so many days, and I'm like, man, fuck this shit. I think the most I've ever sat and did a mantra was 4,444 times, and it was a light mantra. What I call a light mantra is maybe a 1 word or 2 words, or even 3 words, but no more than that, because I can go through that quickly, you know, and it may have taken me 1 hour to do that, you know, but it's a buildup of energy, just like you explained. Even Baal Cadman in his books explains, you know, 10,000 is a good number. 1,000 is a good number. 1,080 is a good number, you know, but the 108, that'll get you started, but I'm with you on that. Do 1,000 at least.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to do something like Om Shreem, Om Shreem, Om Shreem, Om Shreem, Om Shreem. You see how fast you can do that? You can do 1,000 in 10 minutes. It's not going to take that much time. You know, so.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you believe that some cultures are only meant for those that come from the culture? Like, for instance, you see my shirt, it's Apollo.
Okay.
Yeah, but do you believe we shouldn't practice stuff like Hindu stuff or Chinese magic, Japanese magic?
As an occultist,
right.
I believe that we should practice everything under the sun. Okay.
Good answer. Good answer.
You know, we're not traditional priests. We go a little bit harder. Okay. We're a little bit more daring. We're a little bit more fearless. We're more extreme, and science-wise, we're a lot more evolved. So, it's like just learning one form of martial arts or something, or you know what I'm saying. Or if you into combat, you just know how to box. It's like it's one-dimensional. It's you know what I'm saying. It's incomplete. The universe is constantly evolving. So we're practicing these ancient sciences. Like, why stick to one thing? And then, you know, as far as the culture where something came from, that never stopped Europeans from taking science from indigenous people and making their own thing out of it. So, and then when they did that, it being a little bit successful. So why are we, you know, limiting ourselves to a particular science in this age? I'm not with that.
I agree. I totally agree. Tell my students that, I tell my group that, be a sponge. Learn everything that you can learn. You know, like you said, we're extremists. That's why I have so many books. Some woman had the nerve to come on my channel and fuss at me because I had a shirt on. I had this shirt on. No, I didn't have this shirt on. I had a Hindu shirt on. And I was talking about the ATRs. And she told me that I was confused because, oh, you're talking about the Vedic deities, yet and still your petition. I was like, hold on. Why would I not? I said, do you know the Hindu people look like me? It's our signs. It's all our signs. Why are they? have fooled us into believing we should learn none of it. And like you said, that did not stop the Europeans from going around the world, taking people's cultures and practicing and making it their own. So yeah, be a sponge.
I mean, even if we go into Catholicism, right, which is extremely powerful, especially if the Pope is, has all the power he has. A lot of the science from Catholicism is stolen from a lot of the ATRs. So that didn't stop anything. And then it's like, why would anybody care what somebody else is doing? It's like, so what?
Right.
Like you're not gonna stop me from getting into Dravidian science, Vedic science, and then dealing with the ATRs. Like, we don't care what you say. We occultists. We really don't care how you feel about what we practicing. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, we do our research before we get into stuff any damn way.
Thank you.
You don't know what we initiated into it. You know what I'm saying? We don't fuck ourselves up because we're scholars.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if we do end up fucking ourselves up, we don't complain because we're daring.
Right.
So you can't tell us too much.
Absolutely. And it's the same people who tell us voodoo should be scary, it's devil worship. You know what I'm saying? Yet and still, Catholicism, like you pointed out, is based on Egyptian magic. Mm-hmm. They would tell them in church, eat the body and blood of Christ, but not even see that there's a correlation between that and what voodoo saints do for real. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So when she said this, I didn't allow that fuckery on my channel. I deleted the comment. Don't fuck with me with that. I'm like, why would I not mess with? And this is not racist talk. This is a fact. This is not my opinion. This is a fact. These sciences belong to the melanated people of the earth. So yeah.
It's a fact. You know what I'm saying? So we, especially in our state of being oppressed, we're gonna practice everything under the damn sun. All right.
Right.
We're not in a harmonious age right now. So we're gonna take up all the sciences and we're gonna use them at our discretion. And nobody's gonna be able to tell us that we can't do that. That sounds crazy.
Right. Yeah. It does. It does. So how important do you think it is to have some kind of foundation as an occultist?
That's a good question. It's like having a foundation. See, that could fuck you up, man, because you know what I'm saying. A lot of people have a foundation in something religious, and then they take that, and then they take the next science they learn, and they bring it to something religious, and they stay in a box. So it depends on what you got from the first foundation, you know what I'm saying? But I think having a foundation is good in the sense of structure and knowing, knowing that you got to work at something. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that you got to earn the next level to something. But I think a foundation, an outdated foundation that can fuck us up, maybe. It might.
I agree with that. I stayed in Goetia for like a year. That was my go-to system. And like you said, it was like I was only messing with Goetia for a long time. And I was like, you know what? Let me break out of this. I'm being stagnant. I'm going to the Goetia for everything when I know other shit. You know what I'm saying? So I would go to, the Egyptian deities and then the clip-off deities. That's some heavy shit right there. But yeah, I just wanted to know your thoughts on an aspiring occultist, how they should start off as far as a foundation.
I think the first thing they want to do is get into something that really grabs your attention and interests you. You know what I'm saying? And then,
Right.
yeah, get into that. You know what I'm saying? Then that's going to be whatever your foundation is going to be on. And then
And
I
then
think
build
that,
on it.
yeah, build on it. You know, other things that come to you. You know what I'm saying? Other things that you're supposed to get, other systems that you're supposed, they're going to come to you. But I would say don't jump into something that you don't really like, that everybody else is telling you should fuck with. Because you're not going to take to it like that. And if you don't take to it like that, it's going to bore you and you're not going to go hard. And then everything else you practice, you're not really going to get nothing out of it because you didn't go hard at the first thing you dealt with. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Good answer. Good answer. Good answer. So do you think somebody who's coming into the cult should find someone to teach them, or
Yeah,
find a hooligan?
I think one of the best things is to have a hands-on teacher, one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? That's the best thing in the world. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, I learned hands-on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and then
Okay.
from that, continue to be a solo practitioner. But that hands-on training, it's like it's demanding. You know what I'm saying? It's like a real good teacher is not gonna really let you mess up. They're gonna be strict, and you're gonna get why they was on top of you that way.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and I would tell people to do that. I often tell people how I got into it. I said because people, I'm kind of a rare example because I had to do it myself. People would like, okay, read this book, or I couldn't get a teacher when I was really trying to find one. You see what I'm saying? So it led me onto the path by myself. So everything that I learned by trial and error. And I tell my students, I say, I wish I had a teacher. It probably wouldn't have took me so long to get to the level where I'm at today. But, my guidance towards the students are completely, hands-on and explaining everything. But for me, like I said, I'm a rare example. I pretty much had to do that all by myself.
Yeah, some people, they self-taught, and that's dope. Word.
It's dope, but shit, it was a long, hard struggle.
Yeah.
And how important do you think, since we're dealing with occult etiquette, do you think notebooks are?
Notebooks are everything.
Stubbles.
Everything.
Okay.
When the best part about a notebook or a journal, a notepad or whatever, is looking back at it after like a year. You know what I'm saying? Then you be like, oh shit, I came a long way. You know what I'm saying? You start seeing where your thoughts used to be a year ago, and then you see how much you evolved, and then you see the picture on how you were shown certain things, and that it's profound. Notebooks is everything.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I still have notebooks from 2-3 years ago, and I still refer back to it, and I was like, oh, I can take this now and totally blow it out the water. So I say, write everything down that you do. This is 5 years ago, this particular notebook, and I still go back to this one. This is my current one. And so you think divination is important?
Yeah, divination's well, Are you talking about learning divination or receiving?
Oh, learning it.
I'm starting to believe that everybody's not a diviner. I think some people on this planet what we consider true diviners, and I think other people it's just not their thing. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody can't draw. So you know what I'm saying? I used to believe that it was okay for everybody to learn some type of form of divination, but nah, yo. Nah, man. Nah, yo. Nope.
Right. I only, because you know what? People don't learn the basics, as we were saying. They don't know how to read. Somebody asked me real recently, why would you use Crowley's deck, which I was just shuffling? Why would you use because he worships Satan? I'm like, just the fact that you say he worships Satan is what threw me off right there. Just the simple fact that you said that shit. Knowing that if you actually knew anything about Aleister Crowley, he was practicing Egyptian magic. And who were the Egyptians? They weren't Caucasians. You know what I'm saying? So even though his deck is complex to read, it's very accurate if you know all the symbology that goes along with it. Like you said, not everybody's a diviner. And it took me at least 8 years before I started like charging for readings or whatever. Yeah. So what else do you have on oh, I got one for you. We're still talking about occult etiquette. Etiquette. Did you get asked for free work?
All the time, man. All the time.
Do you think that's even ethical?
Nah.
Yeah.
We
got bills, right?
Yeah, we got bills. Even if your bills are okay, it's still an energy thing. You know what I'm saying? When one does something for free, it really drains their energy. And you know, for many occultists, we don't do shit else but this.
Right.
We don't work. All right? So it's like we're gonna do the shit for free.
Yeah.
Like, are you going in to work for a day for free because you feel like being nice one day? Hell no. So, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people get offended. A lot of occultists, spiritualists, they get offended when they're being asked to do work for free or under the price that they charge. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and not even free. Sometimes a discount. You know what I'm saying? Like, one time somebody came to me and they were like, you know, I got to get my son out of jail because he has a murder charge. And I'm like, okay, that's $1,500. Mm-hmm. And she's like, yo, but it's an emergency. I'm like, yo, would you say this shit to a lawyer? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, etiquette-wise, nah, nothing's free. You know, the stuff we learn, the rituals we do, the sacrifice, the initiations, the petitioning to the spirits that we got to do on your behalf and all of that, we putting something up on that.
Right.
All right. And then the spirits will get mad if we do the shit for free.
Like you're not respecting the craft.
Yeah.
Right.
Your ancestors will get mad because, you know, your ancestors, they in your bloodline, you doing stuff for free. So they're like, what the hell? You know? Yeah.
Like you said, people honestly don't respect what we do. They don't see it as a tangible asset, you know, but I'm one of those people you speak of. I don't work a traditional job. This is what I do, you know, and look how long it took before I started doing it like that. But it's an energy exchange. It's draining. You got petition spirits. And you know, it's work. It's honest, accurate work. And people just don't get that. I know some of the people who are watching probably was like, damn, 1,500 to get somebody out of jail? You goddamn right. It's a murder charge too. You know how much shit got to go into that? Shit.
Yeah. You know what shit I
Like,
gotta invoke to get your ass off?
some deep, dark shit.
1,500 is cheap.
It is cheap. I know people who go much higher than that.
Yeah, I know lawyers going way higher than that. You know what I'm saying? I'm being nice, 1,500.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what else do you have on etiquette? Anything else that we not cover?
What else we got on etiquette?
I think we went
I mean, the arrogant shit, man.
Arrogance.
This is a big deal because some of the most profound, intelligent, powerful occultists, they're very quiet, they're modest, they don't look like they know shit. And if they see they get arrogant, they're not going to tell you nothing. It's a way, and there's a science to extracting occult secrets from other powerful occultists. And that all has to do with how you carry yourself. You know what I'm saying? How modest you are. So it's a lot of people running around just wilding. You know what I'm saying? They walking into real occultists that could give them a whole science of secrets. But they never going to get that because how they're acting. And I think that's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of information out here. You know, and I never seen a real powerful occultist, legendary occultist, carry themselves certain ways. Okay. You know. Yeah.
So you're saying be humble.
Yeah. Be humble, be graceful. Yes.
Right. I actually seen one of those occultists you speak of saying, I'm like the most powerful magician out there. I'm like, really? Dude, seriously? I knew when you was fucking with Michael Ford shit, so come on with that. Now all of a sudden you're powerful.
I don't think nobody on this planet that's powerful feels that they need to say that.
Right.
You know, so, you know, we could just look into the psychology of anybody who says that. You know, you know what I'm saying? Occultists, they never really thrown around their accolades. You know what I'm saying? They don't do that. They don't need to.
Right.
Because they're on a certain level. It's very powerful, but they don't need to tell you what when you talk to a real occultist, when you actually find out what they accomplished, how much they did, how many books they wrote, you're going to go, what the hell? Why this person never even told me that? They're occult. They're hidden. You know what I'm saying? They're a real occultist. So anybody who's going around like that is definitely not a cult. No.
Gotcha. Wise words from the Dark Lord, y'all. And so I'm going to wrap this up. It was a pleasure speaking with you as always. And for those that are all out there looking at us or viewing this, we'll have Terrain, the Dark Lord, introduce himself one more time in closing.
All right, man. You know, Terrain Hicks, Terrane Hicks. You can find me on Facebook if you got any more questions. And my Facebook group is the Royal Bloodline. Hit me on the inbox if you want to be part of it. I'm an occultist. My YouTube channel is Dark Lordism. And I got a lot of information, you know. And that's it, yo.
Appreciate you, yo. What I'm going to do is when I'm editing this video, I'm going to go ahead and put all your information in the description box.
No doubt.
Sound like a plan? Okay. Like all right, brother. You have a good night. Thanks y'all for watching. I'm Magick La Croix of the Magical Elite Supply Shop. We were speaking with the Dark Lord himself. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.